What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video it's going to be short and sweet to give you guys an update on what is going on with the Tramp motor, which you see sitting in front of me. Depending on how well you know the Tramp motor, you know that this, even just what you can see right here, is nothing like what used to be on the Tramp. So we're going to cut to the intro, but I want to show you guys what we're doing with the 363 small block Ford out of the Tramp and what we did to get it to this point. Alright guys, thank you once again for tuning into the Streetcar Shenanigans YouTube channel. If you have not done so already, please smash the subscribe button down below and make sure you turn on the alerts to be notified when we're uploading. As you guys can tell, we're trying to get 2 videos out per week, but we also know that not many of you guys get alerts from us. So, as always, please subscribe. Please share the channel if you think the video is worth showing to your friends, because both of those are helping us tremendously grow our YouTube channel this year. But enough about that. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the last video. That video did really well with the Cobra comparison. So if you're here for more Cobra content, we are doing a different era Cobra. This is out of our 94 Cobra with a D1-x Procharger. If you haven't seen it on the channel, or if you're new to the channel, that is one of our shop cars. It's a full street car, leather interior, everything's in it. It weighs 4,000 pounds, not really, but it's heavy. And it had a 363 small block Ford, Dart SHP block, Ohio crankshaft rods, Ohio crankshaft, and diamond pistons. We've been running it in its most recent configuration for like 3 or 4 years, and it's a really sweet street car. It had a TKO 500 in it. Dan and I decided to up the power with a D1-x last year in it, and we broke the TKO on the street on the pretty much the first test drive on the drag setup. So we went to a faceplated T56 Magnum that's in it now. So anyway, badass street car, one of our favorite cars that we have or that we've even built. It pulls super hard. The D1-x was super badass. But unfortunately, we took it to try to beat ourselves or beat our personal best for the year at the last Sticky Thursday of Great Lakes Dragway's schedule. And everybody was breaking their stuff. It should have been an omen for us not to go. Or not to make a pass, but after 2 hours in the staging lanes, we decided to make a hit. And if you haven't seen the footage already, we ended up not doing that great. A mile an hour really well, and as soon as I hit the rev limiter in 4th gear, I clutched it, and I heard small bing bang bong noise, and that turned out to be a dropped intake valve. I think it broke the intake valve, right? I don't remember which one, but it ended up dropping a valve, and decimated everything. I mean, it ruined the heads, it ruined the piston. Luckily, I was clutching it at about the same time, so it didn't tear up the block too bad, so that's pretty much the only thing that's being reused in this one. With the rotating assembly is also, but the block crank rods. Anyway, we'll get to that. And yeah, so it was pretty much a total loss. We were planning on pulling the motor out anyway because we knew that it gets its ass kicked. I mean, we literally beat on the thing all the time. We've never driven it. I said it in the last video about the Tramp, but we've never driven it without the intentions of breaking the law, revving it to as high as it'll go, and you know, just overall beating on it super hard. So it didn't really owe us anything, but we definitely owed it a better maintenance plan, which we're kind of going to force ourselves to do in the future. So that leads to where we are here. I want to show you guys some pictures along with this because I was planning on bringing you guys through the build to get it to a short, longish block. It's like half and half right now. It doesn't have an oil pan. We accidentally got the wrong oil pan. We were kind of misguided on that. But anyway, this is the Tramp's motor for 2022 racing season. Street season, we should say, because it's not a race car. But this is kind of a variation, once again, of parts that I purchased for my notch that's never going to get finished. That is now going to move back to the Tramp. That was, if you're a fan of the channel, that's actually the top end that was on a previous. The AFR 205 heads, the Scorpion rocker arms, those are off my notch. And I also sold the Super Vic intake, carburetor, and everything that was affiliated with the carb setup that was on my notch. I sold that for the Victor 5.0 that we ran on the Tramp for the last couple of years. Like 3 or 4, whatever it is. So that happened again. While the Tramp was running really good and being as awesome as it was, I decided to purchase these twisted wedge. Show you guys a. All right, so what you guys are looking at is the current long block for the Tramp. A couple differences for the year are obviously the twisted wedge. These are a twisted wedge R head, so it's very similar to a high port, but a little bit different valve angle. The high port is still considered an inline head. They're all, the high port is still a 20-degree inline head. All the valves are at the same angle. Whereas the twisted wedge R head is kind of like one step towards a canted valve deal, where the valve angles are not the same. And they are actually usually outflow a high port and get weight penalties in a lot of the classes when they were popular. I'm not sure how often they're used now. I know a couple people that have them with great success. I know that we had these flowed when I bought them for the notch, and they kick ass. They have been ported. It started off as a 225 R head that's been ported. I showed you guys the gasket match. So this is a 1262R gasket, which has a larger intake port, and it's been port matched to that rather than a 1262, which is what we always ran on this car, and the previous like AFR 205s were port matched to. So it is a little bit bigger intake track, a little bit larger runner, obviously. Huge exhaust ports, so we're going to be making our own headers for the Tramp, so you guys will be seeing that on the channel because that's going to be an adventure for sure. We're going to go to a 2-inch primary to 3.5-inch exhaust, and then we're going to try to go 3.5-inch all the way back and probably out. If you've seen the Tramp and you like the exhaust that's on it, we're going to be posting the whole entire thing for sale, from headers all the way to the tailpipes. And then if that does sell like that, we will for sure be making 3.5 all the way out back. Some of the other changes are obviously these badass Jessel shaft mount rocker arms. We have Johnson lifters. So that's one of the bigger changes for the year is just the valve train overall. The main reason we did it was because this shaft mount system came with these heads when I purchased them. And then we were thinking that, hey, you know what, we broke the Tramp at 7,500 RPM. Maybe we just shouldn't be revving it that high. And then that quickly turned into, well, if we make everything good to be consistently revved to 8,000 or more, then why not rev it to 8,000? It's the elevator theory, and it bit us in the ass again. So we ended up getting rid of the Morel lifters that were in it, and we're going to be putting in these Johnson lifters, which we actually got them from Iski, but they're made by Johnson. And it's a bronze bushed, short travel hydraulic lifter. It's pretty much the best, in my opinion. It's the best hydraulic lifter you could buy on the market today. So we're really excited to see what they sound like, how they run, and really just the overall valve train stability. We're going to be going to a 3/8 push rod. This thing should be able to do whatever we want it to do. We'll probably still get ran over by a junkyard LS motor, but we'll give it a hell of a shot with this bad boy, and hopefully we don't need to take it out a few times a season like those guys do. Other big changes, really, Rollmaster double Torrington bearing timing set. So the thrust plate actually has a Torrington bearing on the front and the back. That's new. We ran a single Torrington before, which means it just has a single thrust on the front side, not on the back side. And actually the back side is more important than the front, so it makes more sense to have this setup on here. We're switching from a high volume oil pump to a standard volume select oil pump. So this is Melling's kind of their upper oil pump, their better oil pump, but we did not do high volume. Main reason being, every time we made a pass with this thing, it does have a vacuum pump on it, and it would, I'm assuming, it would fill the valve cover with all the oil, spinning a high volume pump to that RPM. I'm assuming it was all in the valve cover, and then on decel, it would all slosh to the front where the pickup for the vacuum pump was, and just suck like almost a whole quart out on decel every single time. On the dyno, we didn't get a drip out of it, but when it was at the track, it would drain a quart. It got to the point where we were cleaning the catch can and everything so often, we would literally just take it out of the catch can and put it right back into the motor, because that was literally exactly where it came from. So hopefully that will help remedy that situation. If it doesn't, we have to change the valve covers because, one, these don't fit, which is a bummer. So I got to change them anyway. But I will be moving the fitting for the vacuum pump, so that should help with that problem as well. And if it doesn't, or if it doesn't do the oil pressure that I would like to see, because we do obviously make the rod and the main bearing clearances a little bit looser, we run this at a It's got about 28 thousandths worth of main bearing clearance and about 26 thousandths worth of rod bearing clearance. So a little bit looser than standard. I was kind of targeting 3 without going over. So if it doesn't make the oil pressure that I want to see, then we'll have to take it out and put a high volume oil pump in it, but I don't foresee that being a problem. I do expect to see less oil in the catch can because of this, and hopefully less wear on the distributor gear. Pick up some horsepower, but that's going to be immeasurable because everything that we're putting on this thing makes more horsepower, so the oil pump is going to be the least of our gains. Our goal is not really to make more horsepower, although we're going to. It's to try to drive everything a little bit less. You know, maybe not make 27 pounds of boost with the Procharger. Maybe that could come down a little bit. We did, the big thing you guys can't see unfortunately, but I'll make sure to give you guys some pictures, is that we did put pistons in it, and we bumped the compression from like 10.6, I think is what the last motor was. Now this one is 12-to-1. It's like it's 12 solid right on, 12-to-1. So with that D1-x Procharger, it's going to help us make a small blower seem like a big blower. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think it's going to pick up the torque curve a ton. I think we're already getting towards the peak of the max CFM that the D1-x can run. I know a lot of people are overspinning them, us included, and we're going to spin it even harder this year. But I think at some point we're going to hit diminishing returns on the top end of that blower. But putting all the compression in here, we're really going to bump the torque up a shit ton, which is going to be nice. I think that is the majority of the changes. All the other changes you guys will see in the next update video, which is when this thing's complete, because we have a lot of small odds and ends to do. Is the oil pan. We're going to a road race baffled oil pan. So once again, decel oil control has been a problem with this thing. We haven't really seen anything on acceleration, but decel oil control, definitely a problem. So we're going to be changing that. These heads, when I purchased them, they came with a port matched, I should say, A2 deck lower R manifold. So we have that right here. And here's the comparison. So this is the 2 intake manifolds. The one on the right is what was on it, which is the Victor 5.0. The one on the left is the Box R Trick Flow. We're going to do a little bit of port matching because this is ported out. It's pretty close in here, but I will clean it up all the way to the top. It'll only take me a few hours, so I know I'll feel better about it. I don't like the silver stuff, so we'll probably end up making it look more like this one. And maybe do something cool on the top, you know, like we did with the Victor 5.0 here. I always like that. That looked really good when they did that. Probably do something similar with these vanes, maybe. Trick Flow gives you like a little badge to put here. This is used, so obviously we don't have that, but maybe we'll get something with our name on it. That'd be kind of cool. But there it is. That's the intake manifold that's going to be on here now. Luckily, to our surprise, they're actually about the same height. We thought clearance was going to be a problem. This one's girthier. In some of the areas that we have problems, like we hit the hood, which is going to be like this spot with the Victor 5.0 right here. But we have room to drop this, so we can mill this spacer down. If we need to, we can get into this intake as well. I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're just going to take the spacer like we did on the Lightning way back in the day, down to like 3/8 of an inch, and that's going to give us almost a 1/2 inch, if not more. All right, camshaft staying the same. We did not change the cam. I talked to a couple different cam manufacturers, and they said that camshaft is pretty good for this combo. So we're not going to change anything there. It is an Ed Curtis custom ground camshaft that we got from him a few years ago, showing very little wear, if any. So we're happy with that. And I think that is it. All right, guys, I know this is more of an informative video, and it's just me talking for 20 minutes, but I did want to just give you guys an update on some of the motors that we have. We have a lot of projects going on right now, so we're going to be rolling up a bunch of random updates for a bunch of different things. So in the next video, at the end of this week, you guys will see the green Fox body. We will show you guys that. That has got some compression, got a rebuilt engine. It sounds really good, even though it's just a basic thing. We got the Whipple car getting the full FTBR package on it and a 373 rear gear. So that thing's going to be wrapped up this week. You guys will see that in the next video. And overall, we have a lot of projects in the works on both the fab side and the performance side. So we're rocking and rolling. I wanted to bring you guys an update on the Tramp. We're going to be doing some more motor builds because they're all coming back from the machine shop. And hopefully you're a techie guy like us and you like that. So hit the subscribe button down below. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys later this week.